Hello. There we go. All right, should have everything ready. Let's do this. Gonna be doing a little of this and that. I'm gonna be a little scatterbrained here because I have a lot of stuff to do for this next update. Still a lot of stuff to do. What we are working on right now is moving away from the entity... Oh god, what is it? The entity dummy spell effects RM entities. And currently we are testing a new way to make a spellcasting ring around the player. I'm doing it through a renderer now on the player itself. So you could see the old one is the blue and the new one is the gold. See, and it comes up like a lot faster. Like it's like instant. And if I jump, move, it stops. I'm getting the spell interrupted. And let's see if this is a spell. Let's pull out another grimoire, a spell that we can cast while moving. And something like Fire Touch. Why not? There we go. So I can cast and run. Fire Touch does look pretty cool now. So this... Ooh, it looks like it's double. Oh, you know why? It's because Fire Touch is a light spell. That's why. That's why it looks like it's double there. So it looks like it's working. What I need to do is I gotta make different versions of this, right? Like there needs to be different rings that get attached depending on the color of the spell, right? The type of spell, the essence type. If it's an AoE or a single target spell. So I'm gonna have to make more. You know, I probably should merge this with my like global shaders. Maybe we'll do that. Well, I have more to do. Let's see, what do I want to do? Do I want to continue... I should probably continue pruning out the dummy entity effects. Ape Escape! Hey Vice, got my wand, and the only spell I know is Transmute. Yep, Transmutation. That is accurate. That's awesome. This is all done through shader now. There's no drag now. It stays like perfect with your character. I love it. You can see the old one. Here, let's back out a little bit more. So you see the old one, how it tries to track you? Like it was always like delayed. The new one, it's like like locked on you as the player. I fucking love it. This was a great idea. This is my new test world here. As you can see, I improved the Oculus greatly. It used to be like really resource... I wouldn't say resource intensive, but it had a lot of calls, and it had to do with these portals. It does a one-time call now, depending on broken states. And now the portal only comes up when the frame is complete and you have a pedestal locked into it. Before, once the frame was complete, this would just start. That didn't feel right. Oh, I have to test this as well. What are we on? So I'm connected to the obelisk that has 900 essence, which is this guy. Whew, this guy has a lot of stuff on it. Let's create some keystones. Petstone. Keystone. I'll call this Area 1. Boop. And we'll go to the other one over here. I'll make this one Area 2. Boop. Let's pick the destination, Area 1. I gotta update this. This doesn't need to be here anymore. I may end up making a description, like a secondary text description, where you can type in, like, what the area is, right? So, you know, Vice Castle, second floor, coordinates, right? Whatever the string is. You know, so it, like, displays what the string is, like, when you select it. Oh, not enough essence. That's right. This has nothing. Alright, let's get a Lacrima. Oh, you know what? Where are they? Here they are. I also upped the transfer rates for these to be 100 a tick, not 25 anymore. There we go. Perfect. Looks like it reads it. This was from before. I also fixed that issue where you can overcharge these by just a little bit. They won't come out that way anymore. Alright, so Area 2... Look at that. Interesting. So it's toggling back and forth between what its theoretical max is. Interesting. Let's take a look at other stuff. See if it also does that. So that's the regular obelisk back there. Connect this with this. Oh, interesting. It's hard to tell. All right, I think I know what I'm gonna do. I don't think I want to clamp this. I think that's the problem. And I think it's only going to be for the Nexus block. Where is it? Essence Nexus. There you are. Let's go to block info. Right, so get stored max essence. So the current, the max. Oh wait, that's in the block info for this. What I need to do is look at the gateway core. Block info. So it's going to be in this calculation. There we go. So the essence provider. And I tack it right onto the end. right there. So this is jumping around. Let's see why. Oh, okay. So if the stored Nexus Essence doesn't equal that, then it equals it. Change the value. Oh, I don't want any of this. Like, that should go away. That should go away. Alright, let's give it a try. So it's not flipping as quickly anymore. So there's still more to be done. And this is happening every second. Oh, you know what? We may need this one. We just don't need the... no, it's still doing it. So it changed the cadence. So it's definitely more than every 1 second for that. Do I want stored essence? I think this is actually what I want. Get connected available essence instead of this. Let's paste that in, because this doesn't store any essence in itself. It needs to look at the other side. Yeah, it's still toggling back and forth. So I think this is definitely what I want. So, block, BE provider. I feel like a lot of this stuff isn't used anymore. Connected essence provider position. This would be resetting the essence. I need that. So what am I saying here? The connected essence provider position. So if it equals null, clear everything. That means that the block that's connected to it doesn't exist, right? Or actually, that isn't what I want. Because it should be looking internally. And then for this, right? So that we can get rid of as well. Now, I'm not sure if it's going to update. Okay, it will. I'm going to undo everything. Let's start at the top. So, essence provider. Oh, wait. This is all in the consumer stuff. Hold on. I think I wanna have one of these as a custom one, right? So let's copy this. Let's turn this into a virtual. Do I want to change it to a virtual so I can override it? And where would I be overriding it in? I'll keep it virtual for now. So this is getting the provider. See, the problem is I'm not using stored essence current in the Nexus. What am I using for the Nexus? Start minimizing some of this stuff. It's not going to be anything I save or write. I think it's strictly from Onslaught Modified. It's got to be in here. Interesting. So, Onslaught Modified. Okay, so it's get stored current essence. Yeah, so this is what I want. So let me put another if statement in here, and I will say if. And we'll just dump that in there. I'll say if essence provider, or you know what? Better yet, let's do this API world block accessor get, or you know what? I already identified block up there, so we could just use block code path contains essence nexus else there we go, and I'm gonna have to cast this. I will cast this as block entity station essence nexus. There we go, so I could pull it out. Oh, yeah, go ahead and stop. I just changed a bunch of things. You know what? Let's make this a little safer. Let me do another if statement in here. And I'll say essence nexus. Copy, paste, and paste. There we go. Now I can say essence nexus does not equal null, because what if you go into a state where the block is there, but for some reason, like another mod or somehow you end up deleting the block entity in that space which actually holds the data. This would crash at that point. There, and I could just do that as a backup, just in case. And for this, I'll just say, invalid. There we go. That way it gives you, like, an error. But it's not a real error, it's just telling you that the Nexus is... something's wrong with it. Because that could totally happen if you had the mod, and you had one of these out, and then you you shut down, you remove the mod, and didn't remove the block. I don't want to cause any kind of crashes, right? It just won't see the block entity and tell you invalid. Until you put the mod back in, break the block, and place it back down. Genius! Looking good. Looking good. Nice and solid. There we go. Okay, so it's not bouncing back and forth anymore. You know what? Let's teleport. How much is this gonna cost? It's gonna cost 5. So we'll be at 50,045. There we go. Let's fly over. Oh, actually, let's check this side. 900, baby. Looking good. There it is, and 45. So it did correctly take the essence as well. All right, excellent, excellent. Let's see, do I want to work on... There's so many things to do. So that's fixed. So this is another problem. There was, the debuff did not happen. Pretty sure if I try to set this destination, it's gonna continuously teleport me until one of these no longer has essence. That's 900. This may be a problem. Let me save and quit. And hop back in, just in case I have to, like, crash out. I think I need to change how this is being detected, how the debuff is being detected. Let's go into... I already know what needs to be done. So we'll go into the portal block. And this is going to be on inside, which I believe I threw into events. Nope. It's not a game tick. Oh, wait, this is the block entity version. I want the block. Hold on. Station extra. Gateway. Here it is. Oh, so I am doing it. Okay. Status effects is effect active. All right, let's give this a try. Right, so it's not... It is not correctly putting the buff on me after a teleport. So let's do a search. Teleport. Trigger teleport. Trigger teleport. No, it's not that. Here it is. So this. Oh, hold on. Let's not call it like that. Okay, that was the old way. What I need to do is Rustbound Magic dot full spell dictionary. We are going to specifically look for this gateway cooldown. And we're going to do a on cast stop. And in here, we are going to want 0F. Slot is going to be player dot hand. It should be active hand. And then player. Then we can do a null. Oops. Null. And false. 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 And then this would be the duration, right? So it would be like 15 seconds. And then actually, that's all I need. I can put a bull in there, but it would be if I want it to be a permanent infinite buff. It cannot be an infinite buff. The Giving Key global cooldown for Gateway Teleport was not present in the dictionary. What? Excuse me? Holy crap, I never put it in. It's not a registered spell. All right. We'll just shut down. We're just gonna shut down. All right, the spell dictionary. Where is it? There it is. All right, global debuff. I never put them in. Are you kidding me? Son of a biscuit. Oh, man. Ooh-wee. I gotta, like, put something in for all these. Here, let's go right in here. Let me make sure. Yeah, it's gonna be these cooldowns. No wonder why they weren't working. There we go. I'll just put this off to the side. Eventually, I will have a global cooldown, but for now... we'll do global cooldown. We'll register that one. Copy, paste. This is going to be... global cooldown for pet spawning. Next one is going to be... cooldown for Gateway Teleport. The next one is going to be... did I just call it Essence Exhaustion? I guess. Oh, yeah, because it's not a global cooldown. It's just Essence Exhaustion. All right. We need one more. There, and this will be Spell Scroll Exhaustion. There we go. Now they're globally registered. I was gonna say, how is it not working? Build. Now we'll see if I start teleporting. Like, right? Did it save after the first teleport and thinks I'm inside the gateway, or is it gonna be like, you know, nothing saved and I'm gonna be standing outside of the gateway? Because I did abruptly shut it down. I'm in. Well, the good news is it is no longer coming up with a bunch of errors as it's doing this. Bad news is I need to figure out why I gotta fix the debuff system. So it should give me 15 seconds of oh, actually, wait a minute. Let's see. If these weren't in the global dictionary, I may not have completed these yet. So let's go to spells, global, debuff, generic. All right, so we go in here. That's the old way of doing it. This is the new way. All right, so let's shut down again. Okay, should be this. The default is 30 seconds. Good. It's probably going to be the same for all of these, so why don't I just put this in now, right? So this is going to be Pet Exhaustion. Spell Scroll Exhaustion. This is the global cooldown. There we go. Save. Let me in. I think after this next push, depending on like the time I have, I think the next big thing is I want to rewrite the essence generators. So it's giving me teleport exhaustion, but it is not respecting the teleport exhaustion debuff. And it is putting it on for about 15 seconds. I think I'm gonna change this because it starts at 15 briefly. I think I want to add about a second to this. That way it doesn't go down to 0, then ticks. On cast stuff. Let me get out of this loop first. Where's the block? Okay, that's the channeling ring. Those are all the spell names. That's my helper. Those are other things. Did I close it out? Oh wait, I'm in it. There we go. On entity inside. Return. This will stop the bleed. There we go. Now we can safely get out. The good news is I don't have to test with this. Husky! That new vibrating eyes spell seems to be working great, right? You're welcome. Look, it was chugging away at my essence. Holy crap. So, okay, so look, I'm getting rust sickness, right? So this is the problem. Let me pull up a spell scroll. We'll do swiftness 1, and I'll do temperance as well. Right? Because those are two totally different spells. And these are going to put infinite versions on because I'm in admin mode, right? But right, I can pop that on. And it gave me the 60% run speed. And if I pop this one on, 22. Right, so that works. See, my run speed, that works. So these buffs are indeed working. And right here, you can see the different particles from the buffs using my new particle system. See, it like follows you now. It's not like dragging behind. These new systems are fucking sweet. But the weird part is rust sickness is being applied the same way, but the client isn't getting the hint. Which is weird. I don't like it. Right, status effect, is effect active. If the effect is active, then we return. So my buff system still needs a little work, right? And then if I save and log out. It will keep those infinite buffs on. We'll do another test. I will hop out of admin mode and then remove those buffs and then put the regular versions on, and then we will reload to make sure that like time and everything works. Alright, so if we look, my health is still inflated. I still got, yep, still got everything. 3, 2... Oh. There we go. Let's move away from anything that can give me rust sickness. Right? It's very weird. Game mode 1. See, it won't like auto-complete anymore, so we gotta wait. This is the old ring. Ew. Look at it. Look how crappy it looks. Yuck. Right, so that's about a minute. And it gave me my run speed. There we go. So the increase, so about 38 seconds. I think it's still ticking, so it's probably going to be 36 or 35. But this is the new system where, like, I take the snapshots of the buffs and then reapply everything. There we go. So 37. That was pretty good. So I still got that, right? So it reapplied everything. We'll wait for swiftness to wear out. 23 more seconds. So it should drop off, and I should see everything update. You gonna do it? Two, 1, 0. There it goes. I'm gonna change that. I want it to disappear at 1, not 0. I think I started to do that. Yeah. So I'm gonna want that. That's the time remaining. There you go. So now when I do swiftness, make sure it applies. There we go. See, it starts at 1 minute now. It doesn't start at 59 seconds. Duckman, hey! Quack. Quack, quack. How you doing? How's everyone doing? I'm doing pretty well. I'm gonna be going to a monster truck show later today. Never been. We shall see how it goes. Bringing the little one to see. Ah, thank God it's only a 1 minute buff for now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There it goes. Perfect. Look at that. Mwah. Chef's kiss. Just to make sure the buff is gone, we're gonna reload. It should reapply only temperance. My speed should still be 110, and I should have no print statement saying anything about speed. Doing pretty good now that the sink is flowing good again. Oh man, you got a sink clog. My one bathroom sink is starting to clog a little bit. I'm noticing the water's not going down as much. I gotta take that apart and clean it at some point. But, you know, it sucks. It smells like death when you do that stuff. Yeah, just a gunked up filter, yeah. Perfect. So the regular buffs work, right? Like if let's pull up Fly. Let me get Fly. Game mode 2. Spells Fly. Get rid of that. There we go. I'll just put the infinite version of it on myself. Game mode 1. Right, so this is the Fly spell now. If I log out and log back in, it should reapply Fly, and it actually keeps you up in the air now. The new version of Fly. Or at least it should. Dirt from the well, yeah. Yeah, those pixel wings are awesome. Thanks. It was something I was playing around with. See, it reapplied Fly after logging in, and it reapplies the same version of the buff, right? So, because I've applied the infinite version of the buff, right? It applied it as an infinite version. Temperance was reapplied as a timed buff. You could kind of see the wings behind you when you look down. See, the weird part is, like, I don't know how to get the body position. It follows the head, the yaw of the head right now. I was gonna make it like a halo on top as well, but this is just a test. I figured out how to add shaders directly to the player as an overlay. So that means that I could actually, like, map out, like, decent wings and, like, paste those kind of over, right? I could now do, like, texture-based stuff with my new system, which is chef's kiss. It's fantastic. So if I want to remove the buff... Right, so regular buffs work. Oh, you know what? Let's try and do game mode 1. Yeah, so I should have Rust Sickness. Game mode 2. I don't have that on. So there's still something going on. I've been trying to look at this the past couple days. I'll poke around a little bit, see if I can figure something out. If not, we will move to something else. I just gotta figure out, and it's only debuffs that's having a problem. Actually, that and Stabilize. I don't think Stabilize is working either. So to test this, yeah, anything like in here in the global. I think Rift Bloom T is also one of those. Let's do Rift Bloom T. Never mind. Rift Bloom T is working. That means server side it's working. Oh, but client side. So I don't think the clients are getting the updated attributes. Interesting. Huh. Time set day. Okay. Let's make it daytime. Let me make sure that this buff actually stays as well. And then I guess I'll use Stabilize next. Although Stabilize also needs client side. So I think the thing is, Rust Sickness is going to be my best test bed. And when I have Rust Sickness working, then everything else should work. There we go. Yep, you're recovering mana. 93, 97. Perfect. And I can remove it. Make sure that it's not continuously ticking. Still 101. It would have ticked by now. So it does completely remove it. Let's look at my system. Effects. So we're going to go into Effect Application. Clear effect state, right? Attempt buff list remove only. It's an active effect. That's the swiftness and velocity when I had velocity. This is the Rift Bloom T. That's if you have a better version of each Rift Bloom T. That's setting the infinite effect if you can. Then saving it, and then we're going to try to apply stats. See, Mark Path Dirty should be... So this is being done server side. And it should be marking it on the client side as well. But it is not. Here, let's go into an entity behavior. I think I'm onto something. I think we can fix this. Here we go. We'll go into the buff system. Hop into a game tick here. What I want is my 1 second game tick. We're gonna put some stuff in that. That's a quarter. Here we go. 1 second. Oh, I was kind of... Oh, look at that. I was kind of doing this already. Here we go. So it's going to tell me the side, and it's going to see if I have Rust Sickness. I'm actually getting nothing. I'm getting nothing here. So then is the client seeing just Rust Sickness? Hold on. How am I applying this? Okay. Single target buff. Duration. Wait, it can't be because of this, right? Can you let it tick down? So it's not. Okay. Good. Yeah, because the default would be 5 seconds. I'll make it 10 seconds. You know what? No, I'll just do 30. So let's do a test here, right? So swiftness. We'll bring this over. So I should be seeing a print statement in here. That's what I should see, right? So it has swiftness. And it's ticking away. And then if I drop the spell, you guys notice how, like, smooth this is now? And as soon as you click, it's like, bam, gone. See, so it applied correctly there. But I am not getting any kind of rust sickness debuff. It's all the same, right? It's all the same here. Let's specifically look for anything that is rust thickness. I mean, did I forget to, like... So that's the shader. It should be picking up the shader. There's also an effect. A little further down. Wait a minute. The fuck are you? What is this? Oh, okay. These are... That's old. Alright. That's fine. That's commented out. Greetings! Hey, Lunatic! How goes ye? It's going well. This update is gonna be a big one. I feel a little bad because it's gonna probably cause a little issue. People, like, using the new version of the mod on, like, a world they already have the mod running in. And by weird, the buff system, I think it's going to be okay. The only bad thing that's going to happen so far is that your essence generators may zero out. I will attempt to put in a patch so there's a transition. So stupid dummy Vice used the wrong key. For the current stored essence, I was using the key for the max stored essence. So... so I'm gonna have to put some step-down code in that will load, like, on read, where it will take a snapshot of all of the essence that you have with the old key, and then apply it to the new key going forward. That way, on next save, it will save on the new key, and then just kind of depreciate the old. So that's how it's going to be. As of right now, it's just cold turkey. But I do need to do that so people don't lose their essence. Although I think anything stored in a Lacrima is untouched. This is just the essence in the you know, arc light furnace, like these guys here. So it's just here. Because because again, I was saving it under the max key. But again, I can write something in where it will save it to the new one. And if you end up breaking it, like, it erases the old key, the attributes anyways. Right? So it's just gonna be a dead key that no one will have access to, right? Just kind of sitting on the block. Save it under the new key. But yeah, this is interesting. I'm not getting any ticks at all here, so let's focus on the obelisk. The obelisk. Block entity obelisk. That's not what I want. Let's look for rust sickness, right? So this is how I'm applying rust sickness now. I am very curious RMR references dot logger. This will be obelisk check. All I want to know for now is this API world side. Is this code being called from the client or the server, or the client and the server? Server side only, huh? And this actually has a call here to where if it's client, it will stop anyways. What if I remove that check? And let's go into Rust Sickness. And I will say applying Rust Sickness, and then put the duration in. Let it tick a little bit. Okay, so here we go, right? So server, and it's actually getting through, right? Applying Rust Sickness for 5 seconds, which is what we see here. Is it anything to do with the single target buffs? What if I made this just the regular kind of like AoE that Swiftness uses? Alright, so let's go into research to alteration Swiftness. Let's try and apply it with this. And this will be, instead of new duration, it's just going to be duration. Not going to apply as infinite, ever. So it has nothing to do with that. Is it because it's only server side? Oh, wait a minute. Let's go back into... Hold on. Here's the obelisk. Server only. You son of a bee. So that's why the server sees it, and the client does it. But then why am I not seeing it refresh? Because that doesn't make sense. If this was correctly applying the buff, I would have seen it like I saw Swiftness. Client server. But see, it wasn't, it's not applying the buff at all. All right, so let me dig a little further into this. Give me the player's name, right? Because I would want to see Vice in there. There you go. So we'll put a 1 here, 2, right? So let me get the name, and then is active, right? Tell me if you think this is active. Right, because then that's going to be the effect ID. And I may have to put something in here, right? Has effect active state. Right, watch attributes, bool, get effective active key active false, which is the default. Vice and then false. Look at that. It's continuously ticking false. So it's never seeing it as active. What if I manually send this update packet? Yeah, so that's still a no-go. Alright, so let me get rid of that. Alright, so status effects. Let me make sure I get this far. RMR references dot logger. Status effects. Try apply. Right, so we're gonna make 1 there, move past all of this. This will be 2. I go sleep now. Best of luck with the modding. Thanks for stopping by. You have yourself a great night. Look at that. It's trying to apply rust sickness, so it's not even getting to here. Okay. The noose is tightening. Let me rebuild. Because I want this to tick server side only. We can move past this, right? Because it seems like the problem is in the spell here. And let's do player.world.side. Wait a minute. Oh my god, I think I know what the problem is. Oh no. I think I know what the problem is. My no effects message may be fucking me right now. That's why none of these work. No. Was like it should only be stopping. Like, cause I don't want the text. That's all I don't want the text. So it's getting to applying rust sickness. I want to think it's not that. I want to think it's not that, right? So it's getting this far. Let's go in here. This will be entity in. I'll make this 2. I will comment that out. Right, so it's getting that far. It's saving the duration. So apply stat, right? So it should be... This spell scroll in. Oh, is this stale? What ID do you think this is? Rust sickness. Okay, so it's not stale. I think I need to make this better though. I should probably make this a string. I'll say spell ID in. Right, because I think it would be safer to do it this way. And make it like this. It's not going to help, right? But I think that is what I want here. You know what? Actually, no, we don't have to do that. There we go. That is fine. So I need to figure out why it's not getting into here. So let's start at the very top. Before we do anything, try apply. Why did I do that? You know, I'm going to move this over. Like, that's in the way. There we go. You have to take my word for it. No one cares about seeing print statements anyways. Only Vice cares. Okay, it's getting to try apply. Oh, shit, it's this. It's that. Oh, because I'm doing a substring. Okay. The way I fix this is by adding a 1. Right, because if I put this in, it will never make it past here. Yup, never makes it past there. So... All right, so we got a decision to make. I don't know. I don't know, guys. Do I add a 1 to everything, or do I expand this to allow for the potential of having just a name, right? Because rust sickness. Am I going to have... Am I going to have, like, a rust sickness 2? Like, what would that even look like, you know? Like... Because it's not, like, a true spell. But then, like, the global cooldown, right? It would be, like, global cooldown 1. Only I would see it. I don't know. What do we think? I don't know. What do I want to do? I could... You know what? Let's pull up a website. Because I could do a check. Why don't I build this right? Let's do a check, because I can use character, right? And I could do a check on the last, like, substring part to see if, so hold on, let me do char, is number, C#. All right, let's do a little reading here. So bool is number, bool sample is number, substring, right? So number 8, then the string, non-numeric. This is what I want, right? So like a true-false kind of thing here. I want to preserve this. String, spell... base name equals, I could say like this, effect ID. And then I'm gonna want like int for like current tier. And that's just gonna equal 0. If this effect length. So let's do a safety check, right? And let's make sure that the effect ID length is greater than 0. It means it's not an empty string. And I can do char, what was it? Char digit? Is digit, okay. And then for this, I can say like this, effect, the effect ID. And then I can substring it in here, right? So it would be, this effect ID dot length -1. Right, because then basically what I'm saying is swiftness. Swiftness comes through, and I make sure that, you know, it's something I could even attempt to look at. And then I can say, okay, you know, the character last digit is going to be either a number, like a 1, 2, or 3. Yeah, all right. Let's do current tier. I think this is gonna work, right? I could do like this. Effect ID. Oh, I want to do that. I don't do this stuff too often. I think I want this substring. think I want to artificially put in that. Maybe. Let's get the spell-based names gonna equal. Probably want to do like this effect and actually do a substring here. Because I know how the bottom part of the system does its checks. I could start. I gotta start at 0, and then I think it's actually gonna be this, right? And then I can get the length minus the last bit. You know what? I think this is what it needs to be. Okay, let's stop. Stop. So that means I'm gonna have to get it to work with this. I don't know, guys. Do I want to fix this like all the way down? Can I do a bool check for all this? What if I do, if current tier has I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Okay, let's try that. It's because my old one... Yeah, I was outputting current capital T. Dummy Vice. Vice, you so dumb. You dumb. Okay, let's try it now. This may have fixed the whole buff system. And if this did fix like the buff and debuff system, this is ready to play test. Right? This is gonna work, right? I'm looking to see if the last digit is a number, and if it is a number, I'm substringing it, so then I can do all the checks afterwards. Because that's really what we have to get past. Oh, yep, there it is. Okay, and my chat, my logs are spamming right now. The spam. Which means now I have to get rid of all of the print statements, right? So that stays. Swiftness, I can safely get rid of that. We'll keep that one up. We can safely get rid of that. In here, let's scroll down to here and get rid of that. Okay, and I have one more print statement popping up, and it's in here. Oh, that's right. It was like all the way at the bottom, wasn't it? Yeah, there it is. Yay, guys! Debuffs work! Yay, that was it. That was it. That's why swiftness worked and the other didn't. That was it. You'll notice there's no micro, like, weirdness, too. There was a slight pause. Anytime a buff got applied. There we go. It's still kind of there. I'll have to try to improve that. Oh, it's because I'm also spamming. And it's also starting the renderer as well. I bet you if I did it this way. Let's get a buff spell to put in here. Let's use swiftness. No, let's go. But that test isn't going to work. What I need to do is get onto the new rendering. Look at that. That's like perfect. Like as soon as I'm done casting, it's ready. See, do you see the old one? So the new one is a shader, right? Like a renderer. The old one, you see it's like following around. That's actually that dummy entity that people are having like issues with. So I need to migrate off of that. Oh, I could give myself that cocktail as well. I could use the debuff admin tool. I can make sure blind works, rust sickness. So I should be blind at first, and then that wears off, and I have a couple seconds of rust sickness, and then that wears off, and then I should have confusion and fatigue. So let's just double check everything. Yep, so that's blindness. There we go. And then we got a little more rust sickness. I gotta find out what that mesh is. Alright, so confusion, yeah, I'm trying to go backwards. Okay, so that wore off. Fatigue, I can't jump. Even with the fly spell, I can't jump. There we go. Oh, and I got rust sickness because I got too close to that. This is working perfect. This is fucking awesome. Look at that. And I got about 5 more minutes of temperance. Oh man, this is great. This is awesome. All right, what am I gonna work on next? Why don't I work on moving away from see how it like takes a second too? It like follows you weird. Let's get rid of all of that and move over to the new system. So casting effects. Let me check. Right, so it's just kind of above the feet. I think the rotation speed is pretty good. So I shouldn't have to change anything in here. I'll keep the scale at 1. I could shrink these too. So what I could do is I could actually, like, as it's channeling, I could have it to where, like, it grows bigger, or maybe it gets, like, bigger and smaller, like maybe pulses. But I do want to keep that at a steady 1 for now. The casting renderer, right? So the range, I just did 128. I think I need to find the config option for your client's range, because you could, you know, increase it or decrease it. Because when the idea is when the player is out of range, you shouldn't be seeing these things. So for now, it's going to be just a static number. Let's get rid of the generator. I don't think I need to do anything else in here. I will eventually need to create more of these. Because I can start using these for buffs and spells, right? So for, like, Featherfall, I could have it to where, like, feathers kind of, you know, like, fly up from your feet, right? Like, this new rendering system I made here opens, like, a world of possibilities to make the magic mod feel like a magic mod. That's the Nexus. We don't need that. The gateway. Oh, let's test the gateway now. Right? We were doing that infinite loop. Close that. All right, make sure that return is not in there. There it is. Here, let's take the fly buff off. So if I hop back in, right? It's not going to let me go in. Now it's off. Boop. There we go. Beautiful. Well. Get rid of my rust sickness there. Actually, you know what? Let's make sure the Heart of Harmony still works. All right, where is that? Yep. Fantastic. So the new buff system's pretty cool. I figured out the best way to... Basically, all buffs are, like, server side now. Strictly servers. So the server will see the buff tag, and then it passes that data into the hub. So it will calculate in my new status effects system based on not like a second timer interval, but the world's delta time, right? The elapsed millisecond time. That way, if Vintage Story decides to tick ahead a little bit or start to lag behind, it will recalculate on the fly and give you your correct timing. And it should no longer have like the weird infinite buffs that you kind of get now, where because the Vintage Story, right? Like if it gets a little too like bogged down, it will drop packets, right? Like it's almost like UDP, you know, if you guys know what that is. So it's like running water, right? And you could catch whatever you could catch with your hands, but if something went outside, like it's just gone. So I was sending, the old system was sending based on time, saying your time is up, send the packet, and then stop sending it. This one will just kind of keep checking every 4 times a second to see like, hey, you know, this buff should expire. Can I expire it, right? Like that's basically the new way it does its checks. So when a buff wears off, it's gone. And the new particle system, right? Like the little particles at your feet there, that is like a whole new system for like a lot of things. This is fucking great. It's just great. I put a lot of love into this. My change log is like, I think it's closer to almost 200 now. Like it's bananas. And there's stuff that I know I didn't account for. All right, so let's stop the game because I'm gonna have to create some new files. Those are the textures. Here we go. So channeling ring. I'm gonna say shapes custom. You know what? I actually kind of want, instead of custom, I could put in renderer there. We'll move this over. I will make another folder called channeling rings. This would be renderers, right? Then channeling rings. And this can go into there, right? We can get rid of the custom. And I will start subdividing these out. It'll be a channeling ring dash single target dash light dash 1. Because I want to be able to add more of these to have different variations. And then we'll have another one. This will be, I'll do AoE dash light dash 1. And instead of spelling out single target, I'll just do like ST. Single target AoE. Alright, so that's going to be the light. Paste, paste, right? So I would want a neutral version. There we go, neutral. And then this will be dark. Dark. There we go. And now in each one of these... Oh wait, this would be dark, right? For this, we'll do a default. Oh wait, this is for the AoE. Shit. There we go. That's what I want. That's the light. This will be... Oops. Neutral. And then for these, because they're single target, it's going to look like this. I'll just mark that as default. 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 Okay. Did I change this to default? Or light? Okay, that stayed light. Light. Dark. Okay, so all of these are good to go. I will delete the old one. We'll start to clean these up. We don't need status effects anymore. I don't need the obelisk anymore. I don't need the buff system up anymore, or the HUD. Or these. That. I don't need this anymore now that we added those. The teleport, the gateway is working as intended. We don't need that either. Here we go. I don't think we need this anymore either, because these are all the spellcasting effects that I'm registering. Disposing the renderer and stuff. Okay, so this is what I need. That's the load render effect. See, this is where all of this needs to change. Okay, so let's just temporarily put this in as like a static call here. So renderers slash, here we go. We could just say channeling rings slash, and let's just try the AoE dark. Right, and then those are the magic arrays. Perfect. Build. So that's gonna be the default for like everything for now. I think I actually need that to be default. Which is that guy right there. Build. Okay. Ah, 1032. Let me in. So this is only going to work with the staff. That's the only thing that's like piped through and using this new shader system. Did I use light or dark? So should be using the dark. Interesting. Oh, wait a minute. It's this part. Oh, cool. I think I may have discovered something here. I may not have to map the textures in at all, which means I could just have one of these and then map a different texture onto it. Let's give it a try. All right, so I think I may have to like reload here. Save and reload. Yep, that's it. Oh, that's fucking sweet. Okay. I love it. I like how the new touch spells look. I gotta fix that. What is that? Something here. I think it's the old spell effects. Until I kill those, the dummy entity particles, like, that doesn't go away. Gotta go take care. Thanks for stopping by, Duckman. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Yeehaw! So let's stop this. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get rid of that. And those. Get rid of that. And those. Instead of dark, I'll make the default neutral just because I'm a little OCD. This is looking good. Ooh. Kind of want some water. I think I want to get some water soon. Let me pull up my new shaders here. Let's see. Right, so all of this stuff. You know what? I can't put these in. These are two different things. The shader is a shader. This is something different. This is a system that uses images to do things, which means I could also use this on spells. So ooh, yeah, with this I could have it to where there's oh, but I don't think it's not gonna support an animated, like a GIF or anything yet. An animated texture. But this would be the first step of having like a static image transposed over an entity. I would have to do some math with the camera. That way, no matter what direction you're looking at it from, it's going to orient itself to where it's like always facing you at the same way. Which will kind of add a 3D effect. So I can make like the inner core of a fireball look like something, right? Or maybe the stone one will look like a boulder. And then I could even rotate that image as well. There's a lot of things that this new system like opens up, and I am pretty excited for it. Not gonna lie, I'm pretty excited. So for now, why don't we open up... I don't want anything within there. Where are my items? Here we go. Okay, so the casting tools are going to be in here, right? There's the basic wand, which isn't really a wand anymore. Right? We got the spell scroll, this, and the proto wands. Those are what I want to target. That's getting the cast time. I think I moved all that logic into here. Yeah, right? So if it's transmutation, it's spawning that. So I don't want any of this stuff. First thing to do, comment out all of that. Bam. Let's look at... Let's look at this. Specifically this. And this will be by entity. Because this doesn't have to be just on a player. I'm going to make this in a way to where when you... Because I'm putting in the pet system, right? I'm putting in the pet system. I want to make mage pets that can cast spells as well. And I want this kind of effect to be able to be rendered on them when they're casting their own spells. So keeping it locked to just entity agent is going to get me there. And for this, how was I calculating time before? See, like, the math was so iffy before. So iffy. There we go. Cast time for particles in. Let's just try that. So that lobbed it off for everything. Wands, like, everything should be using the new stuff, which means I no longer need this. Because it's gonna call it here. And then I can start branching out, right? If it's transmutation, I want a special ring for that. All right, if it's a light spell, if it's a neutral spell, dark spell, if it's an AoE or not, right? There's going to be like a kind of complex nested if statement, maybe a switch with an if statement. Like, I don't know what it looks like, but the part's going to get more complex. While this loads, there we go. This is what I want to search. Find all. Got 18 references left. There were 280 something references before. So we're getting there. So I don't see it. Hey, Manaway. How you doing? Okay, so that's using the old stuff. Okay. Let's go back into spell base. So the question is, why is this not working? Armor references .logger. Say should render ring. I want to see what the cast time is. Oh, 2. That's also 2. Will this be 4? Yep. Okay, so it's putting that in correctly, but we're not seeing the rings now. That's fine. Let's leave this, because I will need more print statements. That is running the packet. Let's see. Let me get rid of that. Because it works if it's in here. Actually, that didn't work. Okay. Poppy Locky Scat, hey, thanks for the follow. I think it has to do with this. Oh, that's why I followed you. You're the Rustbound Magic Dev. I absolutely love your mod. It's one of my favorites in the game. Thank you. I appreciate that, Melody. Yeah, it's it is a labor of love. The next update is bananas. Like it's awesome. A lot of work went into it. What am I working on? We are working on a new system for rendering things. So my old system uses like a dummy entity that kind of tries to map itself to you, and it runs particles and it has its own shape. I am moving off of that, so we are currently working on the ring that goes around, like your channeling ring for spells. We're actually doing it through a renderer on the player now, which means that I can also do it with different spell effects. I can actually start to take textures and images and putting them on. For instance, like the fly spell, I could have a pair of wings on the back, not these particle wings. That was another test for my new particle system. But yeah, it's that's what we are working on now. That is what we are working on now. So let's take a quick look at the renderer. Let's make sure that... Yep, that it's getting to there. Let's see if it gets into here. No, it did not get into there. So let's see what this looks like. Let's do effect entry dot key. Give me the key. $41171. The fuck is that? Oh, wait, because I think the key is the entity ID. Give me the value. Give me the value. There we go. Okay, so renderer spellcasting effect RM. Interesting. And this is right? Is this right? Oh, wait, guys, no wonder why. Oh. There we go. I don't know if this may require a reload. Yeah, the one problem with rendering, some code just doesn't agree with you. Yeah. It's been a long time coming, kind of learning how to do rendering better. I have a brand new shader system in the next version of this mod. It's freaking awesome now. Really easy to add things to. There we go. That's what I want. Okay, and I can get rid of the crazy ass amount of logs that are spamming my chat now every time I cast something. There we go. So now, like, it follows you, the player. Oh, hold on. The all the thousands of spell freaking I gotta get rid of that old system. There we go. Look at that. It's flawless now. And it goes for exactly the cast time, and then it'll stop. Hooray! Don't tell me you are making wings for the fly spell. Yeah, I totally can now. The wings you see there for fly, that was a test that I did using my new particle system. So I rewrote the buff system from scratch. I rewrote the effects list from scratch. I decided not to wait for Vintage Story to make their own effects system. I made one that works with Vintage Story. So and it has all the buffs, all the debuffs, and it no longer does any calculations itself. It actually looks at the server calculations based on the time, right? It goes through all the buffs and it pulls out the times and it renders it that way. Since I was rebuilding it, I subdivided the system out, so now you have timed buffs and you have infinite buffs, which is awesome. The HUD has been greatly increased here. Like, you remember it was like a 1 second delay? Now it's like instant. And as soon as you click it, bam, like it's going to be gone right away. I had to redo the system where that like takes a snapshot. Like when you log out in a server or in your game, it takes a snapshot of all of your buffs and debuffs and then saves them and then reapplies them without, like, based on game, or not based on game time, but based on your character being in the world kind of time. So I had to redo that whole snapshot system. Like there's a lot in here. And then that particle system is an overlap to the buff system. So I can detect a buff, and then I can spawn particles based on your orientation, for whatever that effect is while the buff is running, right? So if I got rid of fly, got rid of all the particles and everything, clean up, everything's good. Oh, that's so smooth! So much better. Love it. Love it. Just a quick one, the summon spells I tried earlier don't have a cast time. If you tried the summon spells from the spell scroll, there was a problem with the spell scroll where you could like instant cast spells. That was fixed. And it's a feature now, because if you are in creative, it will auto-complete. Like I could spam it. Like I could spam spells and it's fine. The new shader system. Remember when like a sentry would fire a projectile at you and there was that little bit of delay, that little bit of lag? That was because of my old shader system was being way too intensive. I'm not in creative. Well, Manaway, you don't have the version of the mod that I have right now. You don't have all of this fun stuff. Do you have infinite buffs? It's coming. Yeah, I didn't fix it just now. It's coming in the next update. Next update has like 200 plus changes. A lot of core system changes. You'll also notice this was a labor of love. Look at all the magic stations on that obelisk. There's no cap right now, but you could drain an essence generator dry pretty fast by overloading it. But yeah, I had to redo that whole system. Let me get the Heart of Harmony. Does the Heart of Harmony not work? Oh, okay. So the Heart of Harmony, yeah, it doesn't get rid of the old debuff anymore. I may end up changing that, actually. Nah, you know what? It's fine. It just won't reapply. Yeah, there are a lot of fixes, a lot of things that I've done. A lot of stuff. Look at that. All three of these Arclight furnaces, all taken from the same thing. There was a bug where, like, you could overcharge these sometimes. Like, it's pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. Everything's, like, server authoritative now for the buff system. This has been updated as well, the Oculus. This was really resource intensive. It was a lot of calls. Calculating this stuff, now it's like that. It's awesome. It only checks something if something changes, right? Like, now it got rid of everything. So I pop that back on. It's good, right? The resonator. I could do a disconnect. That's using the new particle system as well. If you don't have this linked, it won't spawn the particles. It used to spawn them, and it was kind of confusing for people because they'd start to throw things in, but there was no pedestal. The new linking system, like, it's awesome. It is awesome now. I can add as many stations as I want without having to, like, put in, 150 lines of code for each one. It saves better now. So, like, when you right-click on something and it saves the block, you could actually, like, view it. And it gives you, like, your position. And then, like, when you get rid of it, like, it all works, like, 100% of the time now. It was a little iffy before. So many improvements. My Devouring Void keeps untagging my furnace. Yep, that was another bug that was fixed. I was a little aggressive. If you unload, it would unattach things from one side. It was like a one-sided detachment. Also, things that had like shaders like this, by like unloading and reloading, it would never kill the old shader, and it would just pop a new one on. That was fixed with my new shader system. It's freaking sweet. See, now we need to apply a bunch of stuff here. So let's pull this out. Now I think what I want to do, and this is a little cheeky of me to do, I want to make a new item class, and I want that item class to be like a spell casting tool. Oh, but I don't know what it's going to do to people's staves that they currently have. You know what? It's not going to do anything. Because I want a spellcasting tool that houses, like the channeling stuff, like anything like that, right? The logic to stop casting. That way I can add staves, orbs, spellcasting books, like any spellcasting tool would inherit, all of this stuff. So let's do that. I'm gonna have to save and quit. So tools, I will add a new folder, and I'll say spellcasting. Let's put the basic wand in casting tool, spell scroll, and the proto wand. Copy paste. So this one I will rename staff. Make sure that is good. Oh, right, but why do I have this as a spellbound item? They used to be spellbound items. That's right. So let's do this. And let's just make it item for now. I don't want to register anything with this specifically. But I do want these. We can get rid of that, right? We're going to want a particle system, the effect system. We want spellcasting modifiers. I think we're going to want basically all of this. On held interact start, right? So this can all go away. We'll just put in the base info. I think this is gonna kind of be all the same, right? So world select spell. Oh, but it's not. All right, so I think I can delete all of this. All right, then for the effects. I'm going to prune like almost all the logic out here. This will be base on held interact step. There we go. Pump it all through. Slot entity block select. This would be entity select. And this would have to be a return. This would have to return on held interact cancel. By entity, block select, there we go. And the reason, entity select, cancel reason. And then for now, this will be base on held interact stop. Second use slot. There we go. That's all I want. Block select, entity select, right? So all of that stuff is going to be like that. I'm going to try and get rid of this. Let's see. About 75 blocks down from the temporal resonator, keeps disconnecting. Yeah, it's probably because you're going outside of the load range for it. What about enchanting armor or the wand staffs? I'm not adding an enchanting system anytime soon. There's a mod that already adds enchanting. My goal isn't to push out mods that like add other stuff that could work with my magic mod. Right, like I want you to use like both mods, and that enchanting mod's actually pretty awesome. Like I took a look at it, I'm like, well played, awesome job. That being the case, it's not off the table. I would just want to make enchanting something different than the enchanting table. You throw something in and you get like sharpened, right? Yeah, he didn't even. Yeah, the enchanting. It's been out for a while. Yeah, let's take a quick look at it here. There it is. It's this mod here. They basically like made the Minecraft like enchanting system. I love it, love it. And they added a bunch of effects too. Like, there are all these effects. It's definitely awesome. They did a great job. I don't think I need this. either. So I do need check available mana. Actually, I don't need... Yeah, I need that. Just check available mana pool, get select spells. Pull up the staff. I need to see if there are any... Here, let's look at these side by side. Right, were there any methods before I wasn't using? Okay, so all of this stuff I will keep. And actually, that I don't need anymore. Right, because that's going through the spells. Brilliant! Or do I want to run it through here? I'll leave this for now. I'll leave that for now. Now what I can do is go back into here, right? And then we can say this would be item, tool, spellcasting, RM. And a lot of that stuff is going to make it unhappy, right? Because now I don't need any of this anymore. Let's change these from private read-onlys to protected read-onlys. Right, so I don't need that. Instead of this being private, protected. Alright, same thing with that. I don't think I need that to be public. That can also be protected. All this stuff for spell stats, repair costs, all of that goes away, right? So now this is what it looks like. Am I even using these anymore? So basically anything here that says private, we are going to change it to protected. And anything here, basically I want like everything to be protected. These don't have to be public because I'm not like looking at them like anywhere else. Like all of this should stay within the staff, right? All the calculations are there. And that means all of this can go away. Just like that. We're gonna make some of these, right? This would have to be a protected bool. I'll just copy the word protected. Paste, 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 and paste. I haven't seen it yet, so I didn't even know it was out. Yeah. Here we go. So now my spellcasting tools are going to focus mainly on like how they calculate things and not like all the helper methods, right? All these can now be shared. which means I need to make a decision about this. I think what I want to do is not run this through OnCast Start. Or do I? No, because this would run for like everything. Maybe I want different casting rings depending on the tool you use, right? So I can't do that here. So I do want this. And I'm gonna have to make sure I call it here. Alright, so we have a couple more things to do. This is no longer valid. This needs to become staff. And then up top. Oh yeah, this is gonna be a big change. Because it's called tool spellcasting. It needs to be called tool staff. So let's look at my code. These are all the places I'm going to have to change it. I'll preserve it. I'll say to be removed. Right, that way it will preserve your old items. And here's the new, right? So the new is gonna have to do this and then do tool staff. Make sure I got it all. Okay, that looks all right. This needs to become spell staff. And that as well. Really? What is this? Alright, so I need to add staff in here. You know what I could do eventually? All of this could go away, and then I could just take a look at the items, the item to see if it is a spellcasting tool. And then do things that way. Right, and this is all the staff logic. I want to redo these. But for now, because it's a pretty big sweeping change, do that. This would be Magician. This would be Archmage. Right, that looks good. What about that? That looks good. What about that? There we go. That isn't used. I'm just gonna get rid of that whole batch. This is being used. So if code contains dash staff, all right, what is this? This is the transmog stone. Okay, so if it's a staff, and this is tool spell casting or tool staff. There we go. We're going to want to do that. All right, that's the transmog stone. We got the proto wand. Let's get rid of that. Save. Get rid of that. Dictionaries. Fuck. I'm gonna have to update all these too. I won't do that yet. Damn it! So that has to do with crafting. Okay, so I think crafting's the only thing that is left. Let me just make sure this works. Build. So the staff on my hotbar is going to be the old one. And then I should have a new kind of staff that's going to basically be identical, just with the new name. Error in... Oh. Yep, that's going to be a problem. That's going to be a problem. Alright, so what was it specifically? I wish there was a way you could, like, stop Vintage Story from loading so you could read what the goddamn stuff is. Because it's, like, gone now. And it doesn't show up in the logs the same way. So that's the old staff. Just make sure for the staff. Oh, registered wrong. There we go. That's better. You know what would save me right now? If Vintage Story suddenly is like, yeah, we're going to 1.23, or yeah, 1.23 now. So I can keep holding on to this. Alright, edit block, spell magic, world property, abstract, wait, tool, staff, primary color, was that it? Well, it's an actual staff now. Inherits everything. This is the old one. Currently selected spell. That looks good. Right, that's still on the old stuff. Let's pull out a new staff. Gonna be a lot of duplicates. So that's all the tool spell casting. These are probably all at the bottom. Yep. So item, tool staff, archmage. Alright, so that is looking good. Let's go back into... no. Tool staff. Okay, this is what I want to look at. Staff crude. I could just put a wild card in there. And a wild card there. Wild card. Wild card. There. There. Oh, it needs the new model as well. So let's create a copy of the model. Let me shut down. Shapes, items, tools, spell casting. And I'll move things over one at a time, right? So this is going to be tool staff. Copy. Paste. And I'm going to have to rename all of these. Come on. Couple more. Maybe I should start making some new staves too. Oh, whoops. Staff cast. Oh, I need to get rid of the casting part too. Damn it. This is what it needs to be. There we go. Last one. And I probably want to make another one of these, right? And I could just say staff. And then put everything from the staff in here. So now this becomes tools, spellcasting, staff. And then tool staff dash the model. Oh, I remember the Spell Weaver set. Memories. Perfect. The rest of it is good to go. Build. There we go. Been live streaming 2.5 hours. Wonder why my butt's starting to get sore. Wait a minute. Where property does not exist or is empty. So it still has an issue there, right? So Rustbound Magic, Abstract, Full Staff Color Primary does not exist or is empty, ignoring. That is... Tool Staff... Oh! It's... I know what I have to do. Or do I actually want it to be tool spellcasting? Yeah, I'll make individual colors for each one. That's actually not what I wanted to do. I want to keep them separate. Just like that. Oh, you know what? I could just have it be tool spellcasting color primary. I think that would work. I don't need individual colors for everything, right? Like it's just a texture remapping. So I could have this overlay on an orb or whatever I make as a casting tool for the future. There we go. So that should work. Let's build, hop back in. And we should have the old staff with the old registry name, and then now this new one that inherits from that old. And then we can start cleaning that up, and then I can migrate wands over to the new setup, the new system, and then I can migrate over spell scrolls. And then we can start placing, there we go, look at that. And this one is the old tool spell casting, so it still works. Equipment, scroll down, right? These are all the new ones. Again, they're going to look identical. All right, let's pull out the Necromancer one. Fucking love that one. Look at that. It's perfect. Brilliant. Look at that. Look at that staff. What is that? Texture issue, huh? I'm looking at you. Let's pull up the model creator. Desktop, model creator. Open. Shapes, items. I just saw the door open. Yeah. Staff. Necromancer open. Base. Now, all of that looks okay. Why? Okay, then let's do file new. File open. So if it's this... Let's try that. maybe out of bounds or something. Okay, so I gotta record that. Fix the texture-ish. The necromancer's staff. Funny thing is, it's not like a staff, it's more like a scepter. Okay, that was it. Perfect. Alright, so let me start cleaning some of this stuff up, right? I can get rid of that. We'll keep that up. Dummy effects. We have 18 more references for the dummy effects. One is a reference to itself. These are... Okay, so that... So 3 of the references are just having this thing exist. And then looks like everything else is here. Right, so... I can start getting rid of some of these, right? So like the AoE stuff here. We can get rid of those. Which means I can also get rid of this proto-contract. Right, so I can get rid of these 2 proto-contracts. Which also means I can remove this stuff from the handler. Keep that. You know what, let's just get rid of them. You know, straight up delete. Game's about to be really unhappy with what I just did. How far down do I have to go for large crystals? It depends on your sea level. I think the average, it's like below 40. Think so. But if you have like one of those worlds where like sea level is like super high, then it won't work. Means I can get rid of this and this. Build. And what is this? Oh, this was doing it the old way. Gone. And this was doing it the old way as well. Gone. There we go. So all of the old entity, like, dummy entities are gone for spellcasting. Now I can start to actually use my new renderer to put the rings underneath them. This is great. Just set up the rift generator at the mantle for large crystals and put a devouring void on top of it to kill enemies. A vertical ladder shaft all the way down. It's a pretty easy setup. Yeah. You can also use the magic you can also use the magic runes to like place them on the ground, because creatures will not spawn where a magic rune is. So they kind of act as like spawn warding blocks as well. So you could pinpoint your spawn, right, and just leave that open space. And what you can also do is get a stabilizer, the utility block, the stabilizer block, and then put that down so you're not losing your temporal stability while you are down there. Just little tips and tricks. I know people use the stabilizer. I don't think a lot of people know that the runes that you put down act as like a ward against spawning creatures. They dare not touch the mana. I use the runes for paths so snow doesn't form. I actually think I wanted to add like a twinkle to them. You know, some kind of effect. Alright, where's the dummy entities? Okay, we got 10 more, so technically we have 7 more. I think I can get rid of this one as well. Yeah, the block position one here. Let me just try and clear all of them out. This one may still be in use somewhere. Actually, that one's not anymore. Entity position, this one may be the one still in use. Yep. So technically, why don't we clear these out? Hold on. Before I do that, let's pull up proto contracts. And I can get rid of these two. And then in here, you can get rid of those. And I can get rid of that and that. That and that. Okay, save. And then let's go into the helpers. Ooh. Yeah, these are actually in use by a lot of things. Why don't I add a summary to do remove. You know what I could also do? I gotta start using this. Obsolete. And then for now, I will just get rid of all of the code. But that way I keep this method so I can kind of trudge through, right? Because like all this stuff is block position, right? So like the crystals use this, you know, ancient artifacts, right? So I got to start migrating all of this stuff over to the new particle system. Looks like some spells like Reap use it, Ignite, Preservation. But this will help out a lot, actually. What about this? Entity position. Magic knowledge. Alright, so this is the first unlock. Okay. So I'm wondering if I should just like kill the last one. That way I can disable the whole entity, the dummy entity, and just like remove it. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. This last one, I'm gonna save it as a reference because it's a good reference on how to spawn things with specific custom attributes. Where are my proto contracts? Here we go. Same thing. I'll just get rid of it there. We could close that out here. There we go. Get rid of the staff. That means down here, right, the dummy spell effect, I should be able to just completely remove. And in the helper, we are going to add this. There we go. So I no longer should be using that entity dummy system. Yep, one reference, and it's a reference to itself, which now means I can move this. Entity behaviors. Here we go. Entity. Add new folder. WIP disabled. There we go. That way now for me, I will know that this is fully disabled. Let's build. And what is this? This wasn't even in use, so I will delete that. I think I had one changing as a block position, one is a vector 3D or 3F. One of those. Build. Start. I got maybe 10 more minutes in me. And I'm gonna get up and give my butt a break. That would make my roads fancy. Optional sparkles. You know, I could do something where transmutation used on a rune will make them sparkle. I could do that. Give them a particle effect. And that could just be like one of the things transmutation does. Like it's just a visual thing. It's actually a good idea. I like that idea. I'm waiting to see if that mesh thing happens again. I don't think it will. Gives me a reason to keep Transmutation 1 wants around. Oh, you could use Transmutation 2 or 3 and just do it like AoE style. Yeah, it's not doing the mesh ref anymore. The mesh ref stuff. So it was that old particle system having issues. Here, let's test this. Right, so we got particles working there. There, we'll use fire. Right, because right now you cast transmutation on crystals, They will actually have like a fire kind of AoE around them. Yeah, but if there are a lot of runes and you need to turn 1 or 2 on or off for what you are going to do, the AoE could make it frustrating. What do you mean turn them on or off? This would be a visual thing. Like they're, you know, it's like this, right? This is gonna hum until I remove this block. Time set day. Arrow. Yeah, but the visuals are on or off. It just turns them on. If you don't want the visual, then right now you got to break the block and, you know, place it back down for the crystals. I think it wouldn't be a bad idea. I could maybe put a timer on it where the runes will like sparkle for X amount of time. I could eventually do that as well. So if you have like 10 runes and 2 aren't on and you target those runes to turn them on, the AoE may turn off. No, it doesn't do that. It's just a straight on. That's all. And if you use transmutation again on them, it doesn't do anything. They just stay on. That's how it is right now. Right now. Crystal. Yeah, I used the word toggle wrong. Yeah, my bad. It's a one time. It toggles it from off to on. It doesn't toggle it again from on to off. See, and it does it in here, right? Like there's a block entity on the crystals, and it runs the particles that way, right? So it writes a tag onto the block, and then if that tag exists, it will start rendering particles. Which actually, I would maybe need to change the way runes work. Because I don't think they have block entities. I think they're just blocks right now. Magic rune block. Oh no, that is shapes. This is not what I want. Yeah, they don't have a block entity. I could make them temporary. I could use my new particle system. Ooh, that's a good idea. That way they don't need, like, a block entity. It would just be, like, a temporary, you know, for 2 minutes or 5 minutes or, you know, however long it would take, and then it would stop with the part, like, sparkle. Maybe that's a better system. So how would I do that? Well, you know what? Before I do that, let me just get Notepad up. I'll say use new particle system to add particles to magic runes through transmutation. There we go. I'm good. You can also make the temporal ones have particles all the time, but the regular chalk ones need to be transmuted. Yeah, I could do that. I could do that. That's not a bad idea. Make temporal runes have particles all the time. Could actually do that now. Let's go into block. Magic room. Alright, so I'm gonna have to bring over particle system. Alright, and then all of this becomes happy, and then what I can do is get rid of that. Copy, paste. Right, could be something like here, I want to get rid of all of that. Cut, paste. And this, let's see here. So I got the manager, the world, the position. Red, green, blue, alpha. There we go. There's the radius. So the radius would be like super small. And since I added a method, we have to close. Let's grab that. Grab that. Oh, it's not even placing them. It's the wrong kind of rune. All right. Does does temporal chalk not work? Oh no, okay. Weird. So the default. Oh, that's not good. Okay, I need to... Oh, I gotta fix this. So let's fix that little bug that I just found. So let's get fresh temporal magic chalk. Right, so that's the first thing it's trying to write, which is not right. Let's go to item. This would be a tool. It is a tool, right? Oh, here we go. Tool magic chalk. What should be in here? Oh, I know what all that is. That's all the ground storable stuff. So let me comment that. This is for writing spell ciphers. For writing on spell ciphers. Right, so that's the block to draw equals that. And I have to say if this dot code dot path dot contains temporal. What are these runes? Yeah, dash temporal, right? So it would be temporal. There we go. So now, there. So when you take out a fresh one, you don't have to, like, set it. It will just work out of the gate. Yep. And that one works fine, too. Excellent. Let's add that, right? Fixed an issue there. Temporal chalk would create normal runes until until magic runes were selected in the F option. Cool. All right, so now let's see why the particles are not happening. I see why. Here, instead of that, let's say if this dot code dot path dot contains dash temporal. There we go. So we got some particles there. That is not what we want, though. You know what? So instead of doing elemental sparkle, paste this in. This will be called Magic Rune Sparkle. I'm gonna have to shut down for this. Save. This will be Magic Rune Sparkle. And then let's mark this down. Make that 50. And what's the last one? Loop. That's good. Save. I did not want to do that. I wanted to build. How far under the water surface is a large crystal supposed to be spawning? Right now I'm 75 blocks under the water surface and it's still not enough. It has to do with how close you are to zero. It's, I think if you have standard sea level, it's either 40 or 30 or below. So Y of 40 or 30, somewhere in between there. We want the rising ones, yeah? What do you mean, rising ones? What's rising? Oh yeah, it didn't save anything because I never save and quit. I just like exit the game. Magic chalk. Not bad. Not bad. It's just enough of a sparkle, right? Now let's look up teal. The color teal. Let's go to color hex. What the fuck is wrong with this site? This isn't the site that I normally use. Oh, color hexa? No, color hex. This is the site that I use all the time. Right, because I can I'll kinda make my own like temporal teal. There we go. Choose. Get info. Right, and that's the red, green, blues. So 250, 255, 190. So 0, 250, 190. Yeah, it's 255, which means I can make this 254 with like a slight random. And then the other ones, yeah, I'll just have it be like that. There we go. That way it's not all the same color. Like you'll get like a little variation of colors. Could just make this like that. And maybe set that a little lower and that a little higher. That's better. This thing is annoying. There we go. I'd say that looks pretty good. Right, so these runes now have a slight particle effect. Nice. Beautiful, like a nice little twinkle. Right? Nice little twinkle. Alright, what else am I gonna work on, guys? My butt. Maybe I could run a test. Awesome Cran just got even more awesome. Yeah. That's right. And also these won't get used anymore. Do I want to add something where you cast transmutation on the regular ones and they sparkle white for a little bit? Or is that a little too much now? Because you know what? I'm not going to add a sparkle to these. Because it kind of kills the sparkle effect for the others. Executive decision. Well, there you have it. All right. So the next thing that I'm going to be working on, the buff system is fully working. Infinite buffs are freaking sweet. Like, this new system is awesome. My new debuff system, like, everything's basically like a registered spell. Like, it's so good. It is so good. And this, like, having multiple things, like, this was a labor of love. I had to fix a lot to, like, get this to work. Man, am I happy I got it working. 49290. It's going to be a cost of 5. Let me in. Temporal exhaustion. Or teleport exhaustion. There we go. So that was 90, so it should be 85, right? Yep. Perfect. You think 300 mana for a tier 3 wand is a bit much, but I guess I'm not just working hard enough to up my max mana. Yeah, it's the bare minimum, right? Like, so for a tier 3 wand, I assume you're already getting roughly 150 mana from your armor bonus for the tier 2 armor. And that you've like done some exploring and got some more max mana from Meditation Insight and just casting spells. 300 mana is kind of a low ball kind of amount. Something you gotta work for. But by doing rituals and stuff, you should be trickling in magic experience. And also you have things like the bracers too. If you really wanted to push it, you know, you could put some of these on to get like artificial. Yeah, you got 137, you're still in your tier 1 armor. Yeah, so if you want a tier 3 wand, you need to be working towards tier 2 armor to get you there. The tier 2 armor gives you a lot. So if you have like 137, I think the tier 1 armor gives you roughly 50 max mana. I think. Let's look at apprentice stuff. Right, because that is 15. Maybe it's less. 15.5, so that's 20. Okay, so it's 30. So the apprentice robes give you 30 max mana. So it's the magicians, right? M-A-G-I-C-I. Yeah, see, that's 75 plus 50 plus 25. Yeah, so that's 150. So just by having the 3 set of tier 2 armor, you would pretty much be at tier 3 right now, getting the tier 3 wand. You'd be close. You'd have a much bigger mana pool. I would suggest going after your tier 2 armor if you are that deep. Yeah, hence my large crystal issue. Just dig down. What do you mean, issue? Just dig down. It's not an issue. And let me get a... the old mana lantern. There we go. There we go. Let's get a rift. There, large. I'm at 43. See, that's small, so I think maybe it's 45 small. So then this one is 40 small. Small. Wow, so large. Large. Yeah, so at about 43, it looks like in this world. That's when it starts to say it's large. Usually if you go down to, like, bedrock, or at least close to it. Like, this is basically where oh, look at that. It's Amandicite. You'll get all thing. dug down almost 80 blocks. Well, it doesn't matter how far you dig down, Manaway. It's calculated based on where the bottom of the world is as a percentage base to sea level. Right? So, depending on the world you are in, your sea level will generate at a specific point. So you need to be Y under whatever that percentage. It's like 40 or 30% or something like that. So that or lower. So you got to go down. Got to go down. Just pretend it's Minecraft and you're trying to get diamonds. Yeah, see, 75 blocks under sea, that doesn't matter. You're looking at it from the wrong way. It's calculated from where the world starts at the bottom, 0, up. That's how it calculates. And again, it's based on percent. It just happens to use sea level as your, as whatever the max is. So if you are in a custom world where, they have like the amplified things and they manually change sea level, you're going to have to dig a lot deeper down. But normally, right, like I normally like to set up a shop, 20 to 15 Y. And then just get a stabilizer down there so you don't lose any temporal stability. You're good. You'll be fine. There we go. Yeah, think of it like how ores generate. You're not finding like rare gemstones and stuff right at the top of the world, You gotta dig for stuff. And it's the same thing here. You gotta go deeper down. Yeah, see, like right now I'm losing stability. Let's make one of these bad boys. Here, we gotta get use a bloodstone this time. There we go. And my stability is starting to climb back up now. Interestingly enough, you feel your temporal stability normalize. I'm getting that chat spamming to me right now, so let's add that to the status effects. We have to add stabilize here. Stabilize. Oh, the game's not going to be happy. Let me save and quit. There we go. The temperature outside. I really wish I could make risotto tonight. But we're going to be seeing a monster truck show, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, look at that. Oh wait, I didn't even check the temperature. I didn't even look. 79 out right now. Yeesh. Oy. There we go. Yeah, my temporal stability is good. Yeah, you put one of these little guys down, you'll be fine. What am I doing? Dig. There we go. That's so good. One thing I gotta figure out. So this isn't... Let me try something. Let's go to stabilize. Because there's a slight little like stutter still with the new buff system, and I think it's because I'm doing something that I had to do before that I no longer need to do, and I don't think I ever removed it. So let's look at spells. We'll look at stabilize, the stabilize buff, right, which goes into here. I think I don't need that. I do need that. It's probably something in the status effect then. I'm wondering if I want to make another kind of buff that locks onto an area like a block position and is an infinite buff until you walk a certain distance away and then it starts counting down. Maybe? Why? Get stabilize. Oh, that's why. Oh, these are the old offsets where I had to do +1 to account for like the delay. Alright, good thing I just fixed that. Totally forgot. I'm like, wait, why is it 6 seconds and not 5? And now it should be 5. Mario! What is going on? Weird. I want to go just outside of the range. There, 4, 3. So I think it's here. Yep. Kind of open this up a little bit. Yeah, it has to do with the application of the buff. Alright, I'm gonna write myself a note for that. Let's see. Look at the slight delay. Crimson, thanks for the follow. Look at the slight delay in status effects that happen when you first apply the buff. Just so I don't forget. Here, we don't need that anymore. Temporal runes have particles now. Perfect. Alright, so let's find someone to raid, because I want to eat something for lunch. And give my butt a break. Twitch. Who is playing Vintage Story? Percuss is not on. Oh. Wow, no one is. Alright, Vintage Story. Oh, I'm gonna pick this person because they have a skeleton as their little avatar. As soon as I'm done, like, ironing out this buff system, we just moved away from the particles. We're gonna get to a point where the next big thing I'm gonna work on is pets. These are gonna be summoned pets, pets that you can control. You'll be able to put them in like aggressive stance, defensive stance, follow, things like that. Pets will have their own inventories that you'll be able to equip things with. The idea is, like, you'll have a spell like Summon Skeleton, and then you'll throw out the bones, or maybe use a medium-sized carcass or higher, right? Depending on the amount of bones you put in, maybe, it will create a, your minion for you. That is coming, but all of this stuff needed to happen to make the rest of the mod better. /raid. I am, but not streaming. Think you should assemble the minion. I gotta come up with a model for it, honestly. There we go. So we are going to raid. Thank you everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed the stream. We made a lot of progress, right? Like, a lot of bug fixes. I hope you guys are excited about the new stuff coming in. A lot of new stuff. Buffs, the whole system's redone. There's just that one little hiccup. It's going to be easy to find now, just because I rewrote everything, so it's all still fresh in my mind, and it all makes sense. I had a lot of methods and variables and stuff that started off as one thing, and then I just kind of reused and never renamed for like the new thing that it does. So all of it makes sense. I don't think it's going to be hard to track it down. We're gonna work on more renderers as well, because with my new rendering system, I can actually start applying shaders to like the players and stuff. So here comes the stealth spell. Heck yeah. I still want to put in like the slow spell. There are more spells that I want to put in. I want to put in a spell that allows you to climb up walls, like a Spirit of Spider spell. I think that would be kind of cool. Then you get a bone doll or something you can reanimate. Yeah, like a totem. All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Bye. Adios. See you later. Bye.